weren't going to do it.
They were done. They were done being pushed around by basically the international bankers. And they decided to leave the Union. And they had every right to do that because they were sovereign individual nation states. They had the right to leave or break the contract because that's what the Constitution was. They call it a compact, but ultimately it was just a contract between the states. When the southern states walked out of Congress on March 27, 1861, the quorum to conduct business under the Constitution was lost. The only votes that Congress could lawfully take under parliamentary law were those to set the time to reconvene, to take a vote to get a quorum, and to vote to adjourn and set a date, time, and place to reconvene in a later date or a later time. But instead, Congress abandoned the House and the Senate without setting a date, and that's called sine die.
Now Lincoln has a problem. He no longer has a quorum to convene Congress. He can't renegotiate the loan because he has no power to pass any laws.
Congress actually ceased to exist. And in fact, they no longer even had the ability to declare war. So in 1861, on March 27th, Congress disappeared. The lawful Congress disappeared. A little less than a month later, a man that was claiming to be president of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, issued Executive Order 1. Why do I say claiming to be president? Because he was no longer president. When the contract called the Constitution ceased to exist, so did the United States. The United States only existed because of that contract, because of the Constitution. So Abraham Lincoln issues Executive Order 1. And what he did was he established a martial rule, basically, over the federal territories. They found a way to actually take back control of all territories, or at least the federal territories. And that's what Abraham Lincoln did on April 15th. Now, everybody knows what April 15th is today. Yeah. It's the day you guys all pay your taxes. 1863, Abraham Lincoln issues the Lieber Code, General Orders 100. What is that? Well, go home, Google it, and then you'll start reading about your government. The General Orders 100, the Lieber Code, is the government we're living under. Remember, the Constitution disappeared in 1861. But in 1863, they needed some way to govern the territories, the federal territories. And they did that through General Orders 100. Go home, look up the Lieber Code, that's L-E-I-B-E-R, the Lieber Code, or General Orders 100. Look it up, and you will see your government. You'll actually read it and go, wow, you know what, there's more things going on in here than I thought. It's a military government. Remember, the dictatorship was established in 1861 because there was no true Congress and there was no president. Also in 1863, the Supreme Court was abolished. Why would they need a Supreme Court when there was no Constitution? The Article 3 judiciary didn't exist anymore, so why should they pretend they need the Supreme Court? They reestablished a new Supreme Court in the District of Columbia that they controlled completely. But it's not the same Supreme Court. In 1865, the second 13th Amendment was created. Why? Because the first 13th Amendment was the amendment that didn't allow attorneys to hold office. You couldn't have a title of nobility with the original 13th Amendment. That was still part of the original organic Constitution. What did they replace it with? In 1865, the one that everybody talks about being so good. It was the freeing of the slaves. That's what they say. Now, that's not what happened. The 13th Amendment was not about freeing slaves. It was about creating a government where voluntary servitude was a possibility. In 1870, the 15th Amendment was passed. What amendment is that? That's the amendment for the legal right to vote. Legal right, not lawful, legal right to vote. What did they do? They made it so you had to register to vote to participate in their legal system. Did you need to register prior to that? No. You actually had a right to participate. Now you had to register. In fact, what did they say? Voting is a privilege. It is. It's not a right. It's a privilege in their world. And they've made it a privilege. And you know what? What can you do with a privilege that you can't do with a right? Take it away. Also in 1870, something really important happened. The Department of Justice was created. Why? Because there was no Article III judiciary. They needed some semblance of law. But it says Department of Justice. Under what does the Department of Justice fall? The executive. The executive branch. It's a department under the executive branch. So who's in control of the legal system? The president. The dictator. This is pretty sad stuff. That was in 1870. And ultimately, who's the top law enforcement officer in their system? The Attorney General? The Attorney General, right? In the Department of Justice?
Yeah.
Okay. So it doesn't have anything to do with the Supreme Court or anything like that? No, it's the Attorney General. In 1871, then, a new private municipal corporation was created under the Organic Act. And this new private municipal corporation had a charter, a document of incorporation. And that was called the Constitution of the United States of America. It's a private corporate charter. This is not the Article 6 Constitution that says this Constitution, the one that was written in 1789. It was the Constitution that was assembled and put together in 1871. It's not this Constitution that they speak of in Article 6 of the Constitution, the original Constitution. It's a Constitution that resembles this Constitution. When they said this Constitution in Article 6, what are they saying? They're saying this moment in time, this Constitution. It's not a living document. It is very specific. The one they have now is living, because they can change it up and do whatever they want. And very soon they will.